Hi, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Marley G, back at y'all in another episode of Running With You. And today we got to run it about rap music and why it's been on a slow decline as of late. Compared to the 90s and the early 2000s, which many believe is the golden era of rap, I think it was the golden era of a lot of things, especially within the black community when it comes to TV shows, sitcoms, movies. I don't know. We just had pure gold and magic back in them times. I think it's a reason why rap has been on a decline. I think is many things, and I'm gonna just go through them one by one. One of the first things I think, let's just say this right here is the rap door. To only get in this rap door, you had to bring something to the table. This is everybody, and this is the rap door. To get in, you had to bring talent to the table. You had to bring creativity to the table. You had to bring substance to the table. You had to bring passion to the table. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, only few could bring that to the table to get behind this door. Now everybody is just getting through the door, especially with social media. Everybody slipping through the cracks, everybody going under the doormat, everybody going through the top, everybody breaking through the side, everybody going through the window. Everybody is getting in, and people are welcoming them in, and people are letting them in. And I think one thing that's hurting us, we letting too many people in that's not of a certain talent. Now, one might say it's something out there for everybody, but see, when that happens, you oversaturate the thing. You oversaturate the product, and when the product is oversaturated, the actual good talent could get overlooked. Some people might say, "Well, that's all on the consumer." If you want to listen to these type of artists, you are very welcome to listen to these type of artists. The consumer are pushing these people, but are they? Or are the labels pushing these people? Are there a such thing as industry plans? Is it real? Um, I think a lot of stuff right now, you just go viral back in the, you just go viral now, with like a little song, and you could just be on. Compared to back in the day, people really had to be, had to put feet on ground and really get out there and promote your stuff in the back of your trunk. People really had to go to strip club at the strip club. People really had to go to different little uh cities amongst a main city. Like people really had to, promote themselves by the streets, and they had to go to these radio stations, and they had to go mingle with these DJs. Now you could just upload a song, and then it could go viral, and now people got you in booking. You're on the radio, is playing in the clubs, and now you just all of a sudden you getting record deals. You don't really have a good lawyer. You didn't get on with an A&R. You ain't got no, artist and repertoire management. You ain't got none of this stuff. You ain't got no rehearsing, of doing any of your music when it's time to perform it. All this stuff is just so microwave. That's another thing. So much stuff is just rushed in this microwave era. People want success now. People want to push the next big thing now. They don't want to wait and build it up. Nobody wants to work and build it up. Everybody wants to just have the new big thing right in the people's faces and put them on tour as soon as possible. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of these artists. Ice Spice can't perform. All she could do is shake ass. That's not going to last long, unless you just getting a hell of a team full of writers. And we got to remember, Cardi B is an exception to the rule when it comes to just having a great ass team full of writers that you could really have a long lasting career on. Future is an exception to the rule where you could just be that age, still making good music. And, some people might say he not saying nothing, he a mumble rap, he lacks substance, but I think he does talk about a lot of different things. He just convey it in a certain type of way, and a lot of people try to emulate it. But like I say, he's an exception to the rule. I think another thing that happened is people lost passion. People lost passion for this. Like nowadays, when you see a rapper and they getting interviewed, they always say the same thing. Oh, I ain't even think I was gonna become a rapper. I ain't even try to be no rapper. I ain't never want to be no rapper. People were just saying I could just easily do this because I had the image, or I'll probably bust a little rap here and there, but I ain't really just take it serious. And people just made me do it. Back in the day, people were actually striving to be a rapper because they took it serious and they had the passion for it. Excuse me. But nowadays, people don't have the passion for it. People just look at it as a hustle, as a money grab. People look at it as being a rapper as a little hustle. Let me get into this. Let me go make some money. And then after this, I'm going to just see what else life going to take me after that. You know, they just look at it as a way to get in the dough, get on, feed their family, and that's it. To whereas back in the day, you actually had passion, blood, sweat, and tears went into your album because that album told your whole story from up into your life's beginning up into that point of your album. Nowadays, it's just people looking at it as a money grab. Another thing I think a lot of women, they just selling sex. I think a lot of men, they just selling, thugging and, you know, ops and drugging. Anything that's detrimental to the community. Of course, you know, if they don't do this, their records might not sell as much. So like I say, once again, that's up to the consumers. And when it comes to, you know, having all those big old hits back in the day and compared to now, I think we had way more icons. To me, an icon is not just an artist, but he just a person that just transcends to a pop star. To me, an icon is somebody like a Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Kanye West, Eminem, Drake. You know, it's not many icons now no more. Back then it was a lot, and then back then it was so many different type of styles. Now with the social media, everybody kind of sounding like someone else. If you listen to other people a lot, dog, sometimes what's going to happen is you might start emulating them and not even knowing it, not even trying to. That's why some artists, they don't really listen to other artists when they're in album mode. Some comedians, they don't like to go to other comedian shows when they trying to come up with their stand-up, because in the back of your head, you're gonna kind of be thinking of this other stuff that you heard and kind of like, you know, saying it on accident, you know. We got the social media tool, and it's for a lot of good, but it can also hinder us in a lot of other ways when it comes to creativity by so much influences across the board. Back in the day, you only had influence from your region. Now you could be a person from New Orleans, but you could be so influenced by people in Chicago, you starting to sound like them. You starting to use their lingo and all your music and your everyday talk. Now it's on your music, and you can't tell whether this person from here, this person from there. You might could be able to tell just from the accent. But other than that, a lot of people flows the same. You know, back in the day, DMX sounded totally different from Snoop. Snoop sounded totally different from Nelly. Nelly sounded totally different from Ludacris. Like every region had their own sound. Every region had their own style. Every region had their own uniqueness to them. Now it's just like a gumbo pot. It's just like a gumbo pot, and everybody feeling like it's the same stuff, you know. That's why, you know, I think that music is dying out. We don't really have a lot of icons. Now you might say Young Boy is an icon. You might say Travis Scott is an icon. You might say Rod Wave is an icon. But I think back in the day compared to now is the fact that Rod Wave and Young Boy, I think they are an exception to the rule. You know, Young Boy, he kind of transcends because he could kind of fit in every box. He fit for the people who want to hear pain. He fit for the people who want to hear thugging. He fit for the people who want to hear drugging. He fit for the girls who want to shake their ass. He's appealing to a lot of ladies. He's influential to a lot of young dudes. So he kind of just, you know, check every box. He's like a cheat code. So once again, the exception to the rule, you know. So it is very hard to just fit that mold. And I think Young Boy and the Rod Wave, they kind of took the place of a couple of other artists that passed, like Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, you know, those kind of guys who just tap into that that crowd that just have a lot of anxiety, feel like they're loners, feel like they're going through a lot of pain, feel like they're going through a lot of struggling. They need antidepressants, they need all these drugs, they need all this to take the pain away, to get their mind off of things and what's going on at home, what type of trauma they fighting. Those type of crowds, it's a lot of money and it's a lot of fan base in that type of audience. Travis Scott, he's another one. He probably, like, you can say he's an icon of this generation. But like I say, man, it's too few and far in between. And a lot of artists today, they want that mystiqueness. So they want to drop and then come out, a long time from whenever they did drop, instead of just coming consistent. The thing about the back in the day, they came consistency. Tupac, he came with it. Lil Wayne, he came with it. Jay-Z, he came with it. DMX, he came with it. They just constantly hit you over the head with platinum record after platinum record, just always doing good on the charts, always doing good on the numbers, touring, selling out. And that's another thing, touring, bro. A lot of these guys, they feel like they too cool to perform. One thing about T.I., he performed. One thing about DMX, he performed. And some guys, they might not got that, energy like that, but they are MC. They know how to control a crowd. They know how to put on a show. That's the difference between a Jay-Z and a DMX. Nowadays, these guys, they just too nonchalant. They want to be so cool. They don't want to do too much. They just want to rap in one place and just, be drugging and just not seem like, they just want that nonchalant look to them, like that's the cool thing to do now, but that's going to hurt you when it comes to touring. That's going to hurt you. And like I say, Future, he an exception to the rule. Like, he could probably play into that a little bit because Future got a lot of hits over the last 10 years. You gotta think about it. This man been out for over 10 years and he got a lot of hits. So he developed a huge fan base. He never really fell off. So I think that's an exception to the rule. And a lot of these kids, let's say the YNs, let's say the little youngins out here who just want to be street or is street and they listen to certain people. Those frequencies and all that stuff really mean something. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody in the comment section can explain it better than me and break it down to science. But when you hearing certain music and you hear that beat and you hear the way the person flowing on it, them hertz and them frequencies and all that, it really could influence somebody to go do something that they not necessarily want to do, but the music made them want to do it. Couple that with drugs, couple that with peer pressure, couple that will want to be down to look cool for the game, couple that will want to be down to try to impress a girl to show that you got stripes out here. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And that drill music, that's dying down because once one side of the beef, go to jail or die out, the other side, they don't really have much to talk about because that was the whole lure to even get a fan base. And that was the only thing that was having the legs to keep these fan base alive. Young and Ace, he prime example. Right after Fulio, passed away. And there's multiple other examples like that too. Mind you, these guys ain't doing nothing but getting older. So as they getting older, their audience is getting older. Rap is a young man's game. At some point, you're going to have to grow with your audience. Hence why Lil Wayne hasn't, Lil Wayne is an icon, but a lot of his, criticisms that come to him is he lacks substance. He'll metaphor you to death. Best metaphor rapper I ever heard. But when you ain't really talking about nothing that people can relate to, that's when you're gonna, your crowd gonna better grow with you. Jay-Z, that's why he was being able to be relevant so long, because his crowd grow with him. You know what I'm saying? So I think all those things play a part into how come rap, it has been on the decline. I talked about the women. It's only so much you could shake your ass. It's only so much you could say you got your pussy is this, your pussy is that. You turn on a female song, 5 minutes out that song. Take a shot for every time she said her pussy was good. Take a shot for every time a nigga taking her on a shopper spree. Boy, you gonna be pissy drunk. You gonna, and it's the same thing with every other female. And I know everybody say, man, y'all keep talking about Lauryn Hill, y'all keep talking about Queen Latifah. You know, they got other girls out here like Rhapsody. You know, y'all don't listen to them. You know, it's the consumer's fault. But these are the labels are the ones who put the machine behind these people. I'm pretty sure the label want to push a Rhapsody and all this. They can, but they just choose not to. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe it's some type of agenda out there. Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. And then a lot of people who say, "Oh, this Rhapsody out here," ask them to name a Rhapsody song. Ask them to name 5 Rhapsody songs. Ask them to name 5 Doechii songs. Now, Doechii do got a real good fan base, but your average person in, you know, that come from a urban area, ask them to name a Doechii song that's not in California. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. And then when you do try to go lyrical, see the problem with the lyrical people that do have substance and storytelling, I think the problem is they lack picking right beats. Jay-Z, he did very well picking good beats. You can be lyrical and still have a huge fan base and a huge following, you know, and appeal to people. You just got to pick the right beats. That was one criticism of Nas. Nas had a lot of hard songs, but a lot of his best lyricist songs, he was rapping on beats that wasn't just that much appealing. And beats do matter. Ask Lil Wayne. What happened with the Carter, that last Carter album that he put out? That was one of the biggest criticisms. The rapping was still there. He never fell off when it came to the rapping ability. He never fell off when it came to the metaphors. He fell off picking his beats. One thing about a rap song, some people, you're gonna have to grab them with that beat. You know, and you know, right now it's just a lot of kids. You know, they getting in this game and they just want to flow. You know, they want to have a good beat. They want to flow. It's the same 4-5 topics. They girl, something about a girl, it's something about ops, it's something about designer clothes, something about jewelry. You know, something about this. Your baby daddy, a broke nigga. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. You know, but let me know what y'all think. Like, what y'all think the reason why rap has slowly declined? Like I said, I think is lack of passion, lack of substance. We letting too many people in that shouldn't be in, who's not talented enough. Same old shit. Everybody's sounding the same. Everybody's doing the same one trick pony song and dance. Microwave era, nobody putting in time and work. You know, just once you go viral, let's get them a booking manager, put them on a road, let them go on tour. Like all those things, I think, you know, are being a reason why all this is happening. You know, and we about to just go into a new era. It's about to be less A&Rs. I think a lot of artists, they would like to be independent, but for right now, they still got to depend on these labels, and these labels are giving them bad deals. And, you know, they got to fight tooth and nail to get up out these deals, and they're going to spend a lot of money, and they're going to be in so much debt. But it's just, it just ain't what it is. It's a reason why a lot of these rappers starting to get podcasts. It's a reason why a lot of these rappers are making OnlyFans. It's a reason why a lot of these rappers are, you know, trying to become streamers now. That's where all the real money at. If you're trying to get into this limelight industry and, you know, your face gonna be everywhere and you trying to be digital, streaming your best bet. Content creation, your best bet. Making money ain't where it's at no more. You know, unless you some type of, unless you one of the people at the label. And like I said, man, it's always an exception to the rule. Everybody can't be a Drake, you know. But I'm gonna go ahead on and end it right there. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. If y'all feel like y'all want me to speak on something else, go ahead on and hit me up in the email. nocapnofilter7@gmail.com. If y'all have anything that y'all would like to see me react to, send the video at the email nocapnofilter7@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm out.